These creatures are really savage from the ones that I have and my husband's teams have encountered. Are really savage, really strong. They do not stop. Like, you have to really put these suckers down before they go down. They are like, they look like a merger of Necron and Tyranid technology. Somehow, not entirely certain. We have some of our best experts working on it. Um, any recovered materials, we're willing to pay handsomely well for, like really well for. If you can get an intact specimen, we have got one of their ships that is currently being studied. But other than that, we have very little actual material from the aliens themselves.
Interesting.
Is
Any
their
details
ship
on like
warp capable?
Their ships are They don't use warp. They use another form of travel, similar to folding space.
how about the weapons? What kind of technology are they using?
I definitely would
They are
like.
using weapons and technology very similar to Necrons. A lot of like particle weapons, lightning guns, and stuff like that.
Do they have a shell like a
Interesting.
Terran? A Terran?
What was that one?
Do they have shells like Tyranids?
Some do, some don't. A lot have like a metal exoskeleton that, or they'll have like a hard carapace that is like got metal across it, like it's infused with metal to increase protectivity.
Is there any known vulnerability or weakness of this creature?
Um, Other than putting lots of holes in it at the moment, it seems to be the best bet. There is one weapon that we currently have in our arsenal, like, but it's used personally by my husband. Seems to be rather well against them. They do sometimes possess thick shields, very thick shields.
Look at the two. There's two heretics in our group. One of them's AFK, but anyway. Isn't there some kind of ammo haywire grenade sort of thing that like fucks up electronics? If they're cyborgs, isn't it a good bet that we could use that on them and just like fuck their shit?
Yep, that could possibly work. We haven't tried that yet. I don't think. I think the Marines in the other companies have just been like belting the living bejeebers out of them.
What type of weapons have
Can
they
she
been
tell us
using?
more about the weapon? Can she tell us about the weapon her husband uses that's been very effective?
It's a weapon of legend. It's called the Star Hammer. It's a huge, big two-handed thunder hammer. Other than that, but it has like, this thing is like from pre-gone era. Like, we can't recreate it until we find a way to condense the sun down into a weapon.
What type of weapons does her men use?
What, the ones here, or?
No, the ones that have been fighting the creatures. Bolters, plasma.
We've used all different types of weapons on them. As long as you can bypass the shield, it's quite possible that you can just hurt them. They like use heavy weapons on them. They do not seem to be resistant to psychics of any description, none that we have seen so far, except for they are machines, so I don't believe mind control will work.
You think sound they could penetrate through their shell pretty well?
Yep, Um, a lot of like we have had a noise marine work with us before. His weapons did seem effective.
Maybe we should use some of our technology we use to control servers against them.
I'm just more worried about if these things get back up like Necrons do.
Are they known to do that? Mistress of Pain? Did she tell us her name? Or do we just call her
Oh,
Mistress of Pain?
after you say that, her name is Delilah. She's known as that is her like her common name is not her true name.
So, Mistress, do these things get back up?
We haven't seen it happen yet. Though we have noticed that some of the smaller scarab type ones, they will recapture broken ones and repurpose them.
And what about regeneration?
We believe that they have some minor forms of regeneration. We haven't found a way to stop that yet.
So they're not quite as powerful as either Necron or Tyranid.
They are a threat a little bit different to those two. Their regenerative abilities maybe not as powerful as those, but their other abilities more than make up for the lack of that.
What's their other ability?
So they take...
Sheer brute force, advanced weaponry, advanced armor. Their ships actually seem to be sentient.
Their ships are alive?
We have only ever encountered one ship, and it did not seem to require a crew. So it may not be a ship per se, it may just be a larger form of the actual creatures.
That's definitely troublesome.
Did the ship have weapons on it?
Yes, fortunately though, none of them were able to fire due to some crafty shooting from our helmsman. But they seem to be some form of large plasma relay.
Do they have any type of sensors around the planet, satellites, other ships that we might encounter trying to get to the planet?
Them personally, as far as I'm aware, no. They only have they're only very small advanced forces currently in our universe. Other people that may be on the planet, I am currently unaware of. Though there was a transmission from an Inquisitor recently that said something about a planet in the current location, or around about that current location where murder is, that may be a bit troublesome.
What sector is it in? Like, is it nearby? Are we fucking talking like traveling for ages?
It is approximately 2 weeks travel from here.
Okay, cool.
I think we should be getting
And it's not
on.
like... Yeah, is that Imperial space? Like we're in the Screaming Vortex, we're not really in Imperial space, so...
It's just outside of the Screaming Vortex, so you will be entering Imperial space, so be careful. But it is a fringe, in one of the fringe sectors, so don't expect too much resistance, so to speak.
Okay.
But if we find an Inquisitor,
Let's do this shit.
we might be in trouble.
Yeah, I'll just kill him. Have two ships in.
Out of all Inquisitors that you run into, there is only one that I hold any notions towards. If you ever run into an Inquisitor called Grand Inquisitor Malus, just tell him that I've sent you, and he will likely just, he won't kill you, he'll most likely leave you alone as best he can.
Okay.
Wartime makes strange bedfellows. Just put it that way. As she says that, you notice that the Space Marine in the black armor, like, stifles a laugh.
Alright, let's do this.
Yeah. All right. Sounds good.
I haven't got really much else on, so we may as well go and fucking get some information and get paid. It takes like 4 sessions to fucking set up my UI so it doesn't suck. Fucking default settings are like zoomed in really ridiculously far, everything's really big.
Yeah. Necrons and Tyranid flesh combined. How interesting.
I mentioned to get some sweet xenotech.
Man, seriously?
Well, hopefully we can do some experiments on them.
Yeah.
I'll
really
definitely
wanna
be
know what
taking
the fuck
some
they are.
corpses and pulling them to pieces to see what makes them tick.
Probably can't even use their weapons because they don't have 17 arms.
What'd you say it looked like? Did they what? Well, hopefully we can. Maybe we can adapt them anyway.
It's what the heretics
By the
are
way,
for.
if you want to type a whisper to somebody, you type /W then their name, as it appears along the bottom.
When we press the first letter, it comes up with their full name. Does anyone have, like, charm, or, I don't know, some kind of skill where they can, like, look people up? Like, get information by talking to people?
I do.
Yeah,
I have inquiry.
There's the one inquiry, that's perfect.
I have charm.
I really reckon we should, like, look into who this bitch works for. I mean, she gave us her name, which is Delilah. We know that she works, or at least has some connection to these immortals. We know her husband is some kind of bigwig who wields a weapon called the Star Hammer, which is a one-of-a-kind weapon, so there can't be that many people wielding it.
The fact that
Let's find out who she fucking works for.
The fact that we have Imperials hanging out with Slanesh demons, that's very odd.
Exactly. Who's she working for that's got so much pull? Or with?
Maybe she seduced the Emperor.
My fellow companions, something occurs to me that I did not wish to reveal in the company of our employer.
Oh,
That space marine on her side was none other than the Emperor's champion.
The one in black?
The same.
and this is definitely something big if both the Empire and Chaos are pulling their forces together to fight together.
Does seem like it would be a great photo to align both factions.
I think we should take this errand more seriously in light of this information.
I'm just glad she
I
didn't
agree.
invite any Korn idiots. They would have just gone in charging head first, gotten us all killed.
Well, even minions of corn have their uses. if they can be manipulated and pointed in the right direction.
Would make a good distraction.
Yes, they do. They make a great meat wall.
Well, like, so anyway, we haven't actually had an opportunity to introduce ourselves. I mean, I assume we haven't worked together before in the past. So, I'll say I'm Abel, and this is my brother Kane.
I am Cat, fellow worshipper of Slanesh. This is my companion,
I'm Octavian.
Lily. Go ahead.
Okay, well that's fine, you can
Hmm.
finish.
My companion Lily, she is my flesh sculpture, and my demon weapon, Tiki. Good girl. As I stroke Tiki softly.
What is Tiki? Is it a bolt gun? A bolt pistol?
No,
Like in the
No.
little picture.
sonic cannon. A
Oh, holy fuck.
blastmaster.
Okay.
Alright, I'm Sal. Assassin. And I'm completely normal.
It's a heretic.
I'm totally normal too, I
Jim has
swear.
joined the channel.
You return, Jim.
The warp storms have subsided.
Maybe not?
Jim?
So we're just gonna stand out in the hallway all day long?
No, I reckon we should look at it leaving.
Yeah, well I'm Octavian. I'm the captain of a smuggling ship, and I got my 2 bodyguards with me. They do all my dirty work for me, be my meat shields. But if you guys wanted to come over to my ship, we can head out sometime soon.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm gonna see if I can find out more about this Delilah and who she represents before we leave. Really don't want to, it's not often that I'll serve someone without knowing their allegiances in the least.
You already know her allegiance. She is to Slanesh. And if Slanesh isn't willing to put their sides together to work with the Emperor, this is a deadly threat.
Hmm. Yeah, I suppose you're right.
Are we working with the Imperial, or is the Imperial working for us?
That is a good question.
Well, I mean, let's get our shit together and we'll go meet on the ship and we can discuss this in transit. I mean, we got like 2 weeks of travel.
She's also
Besides, she's
downloaded a lot
probably
of
got-
data for us to read while we're on the way.
Yeah.
What kind of ship do you even have?
It will be a Havoc-class merchant raider.
Is that a big
It's only a
ship?
very... Nah, it's like it's a really small ship. It's like about 1.6 kilometers long. It's approximately 400 meters wide. It's just a merchant ship that has been requisitioned. It has 2 weapons, a dorsal and a prow. I'll make this fully up later, but it's just a it's a Havoc class merchant vessel. It's not like a big. It's a fairly small ship. It's just a raider.
Better for us to sneak
But I
behind
will-
enemy lines.
I will make the ship up and I will give a copy of it to the captain.
What's that roll for?
Alright, sounds good.
Happy fun time.
So what happened to Invictus?
Victor's
No,
is the
I'm
GM. It
still
was
here.
Jim that was gone. It was Kane. Kane's had a power outage, but he's back now.
Yeah, I'm just saying. We haven't moved on with the whole story. We're just kind of chilling here.
Oh, this is like the part where you guys are free to do as you want.
We kind of said we wanted to go, right? Oh, what's
Is
going
there
on?
like a board, like a hit list anywhere or anything?
Yeah, I would be
Anything that's
interested
gonna
in
be out
that.
in our direction?
Just one second, I should talk to a few people.
Are these two guys down here just more guard?
Oh yeah, they're just two more immortals. One just is holding like a plasma cannon, and one has like a huge sniper rifle. So they're quite willing to talk to you if you would like to ask them questions.
Can I ask them about their chain of command? How large their command is, and how many people is in their company, and where they're based?
They're based off the ship, the Valkyrie. The chain of command is every 10 there is a captain, and that captain reports to one person, and he's like they call him the commissar of the unit, but obviously he may not be a commissar. That's just the time they're giving him, and then that commissar reports to the commander of the vessel. Other than that, they are highly equipped, highly trained individuals. What was the other question?
Do they work for the mistress?
They work for the mistress's Mistress Delilah. They don't work for her. They are attached to her as a unit because the commander is her husband. So, and due to an event which they will not go into, the husband requires that she has a bodyguard at all times.
Can I try to charm them into telling me more?
You can try, but you get that kind of feeling that it may not be wise to go into. It may be something that could get you hurt. But by all means, try if you wish.
Is it Octavian's ship that we're meant to be boarding?
Yeah, Octavian, you can name your ship, by the way, mate.
Oh, I don't know yet.
I'm just gonna run in here and tell Octavian that I'll meet him on the ship in a couple of hours. I need to go and collect my things.
Alright, sounds good.
No, I
Are
was
these guys
talking.
for hire at all?
I was talking about Octavian.
No. The only way that they could be for hire is if you were to talk to their commander, and that's it. Like, these guys are loyal. These guys are, like, scary loyal for some reason.
Can I meet their commander?
Yes, if you, you can go and try and meet their commander if you wish. He's, serving aboard the Valkyrie.
Alright, I'll go check out the Valkyrie.
I think I'll check out the Valkyrie too.
Okay, the Valkyrie is currently in dock. It is like, this is like the biggest ship you've ever seen. This thing is close to 10 kilometers long and approximately a kilometer or two wide. This is like a grand cruiser of a grand cruiser. It has like the best guns on it possible. From the outside, this thing's a monster. It is huge. It is very, from what you can tell and from what people, like, the rumors you hear is like people are staring there looking at it. This thing has seen combat like half a dozen times and it hasn't been hurt. Like, there hasn't even been a scratch on it. It has that many shields, it has that much armor. All this other, like, this ship is supposed to be like it is a flagship. It is like that. From what people are saying, there's most likely no ship in the universe better than it. You notice around like the access port to it, there's a lot of like stuff going on and off the ship. Seems to be a lot of weapons and stuff being taken on, as if though they were like arming a force of some description. You do notice that there are 2,000 Suns Marines walking around at the base of it. They're organising stuff and just talking. You do see brief glimpses of a Dark Elder as well, though he doesn't seem to be very important. Like, he's just like someone who's there. You could have sworn you saw an assassin or two walking around as well. And you just see like a whole heap of like demon creatures walking around, and there are space marines there. You see a lot more of those immortal unit walking around. They like I said, they have very, very advanced weaponry and stuff. You even see a normal human there as well. Though he has like, he looks like a commissar's uniform, but it does seem a lot more, it seems different to what a normal commissar would wear, and he has a really, really flashing looking sword as well. You don't seem to see the commander of any description, though they do seem rather busy and working.
Can I go and talk with the Commodore person?
As you approach, he will turn to look at you, but you do notice that there are several of the Immortals, hands on triggers of their guns. They aren't pointed at you, but you do notice that, you have this very distinct feeling that doing anything will get you riddled with holes.
Greetings, Commodore. I am one of those that you have hired to investigate the planet of cyborgs.
He looks at you and goes, I'm sorry, do you have me confused for someone else? I don't know anything about hiring anyone.
Oh, yes,
Didn't
sorry.
Delilah say she didn't want to know that she hires? Because she was doing something she wasn't supposed to be doing or some shit? She said that she didn't want her husband to know she was doing it or something?
She said that some of the ideas and stuff that she has that she does not want her husband to know about because they are not to his liking.
Why are we looking at his ship and all that stuff if we're not investigating him?
We want to investigate him, though. We don't want him to know about us.
Well, how can we even know who he is if we can't get access to him?
Yeah, I suppose.
We're too little right now for them to actually care about us.
We need to go and become badasses and come back.
he says, the commissar here says, well, would you like to talk to the commander of the vessel?
Yes, I would.
Um, as he turns to head towards the vessel, one of the Thousand Suns Marines walks over. Now this guy he's huge, and he's carrying this really impressive looking spear, and he says in a voice to the Darvik, or the